6 it is. I didn't know if I think we're prompt.
Yeah, you're pretty, you know. So, very nice here. There's not many peeps. I don't know what's going on. It really is right before this. Next weekend. Just can't hang it upstairs for it. You don't like the stuff? I don't. Sarah was not told Maybe yes.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're, I think, a minute early, so we'll talk amongst ourselves for 30 seconds. We'd like to be prompt. Hope everyone's had a wonderful week, and it's a pleasure to be here bringing in Shabbat tonight. I just want to mention greetings, and of course, Shabbat Shalom. In addition to our regular Shabbat prayers and songs, tonight we also celebrate Shabbat Hagadol, the Shabbat before Passover. It's a big one. In fact, it's called the Great Sabbath. As the Israelites were preparing to leave Egypt, God commanded them to select a lamb that would serve as the Passover sacrifice. Didn't see anyone with a lamb tonight. We'll skip that. The mitzvah or commandment required the Israelites to actively participate in the redemption from Egypt. And on Shabbat Hagadol, it's customary to read or sing Avadim Hayinu, which is one of the Passover top 10. This one really rocks. And I'm sure you all have it on your Spotify playlists. Avadim Hayinu Ata B'nei Chorin, which means we were slaves, but now we are free. And please join me for a sneak peek, one of our wonderful Passover songs. We'll just do an a cappella. Avadim Hayinu Hayinu Ata B'nei Chorin B'nei Chorin Avadim Hayinu Ata B'nei Chorin Avadim Hayinu Ata B'nei Chorin B'nei Chorin. And today we were slaves, we now are free, and at Passover, let's eat. So now we're going to welcome everyone with Hine Matov, which means how very good. How very good it is that we're all here tonight praying together on page 10. Hine Matov. on page 6, middle of the page, we'll read responsibly. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May the synagogue be for all who enter, the doorway to richer and more meaningful life.
Now it's my pleasure to call up Cheryl, who will be doing the mitzvah of lighting our Shabbat candles.
I don't think that one's coming out.
Okay. We had a plan.
It didn't work. Plan B. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu bo mitzvotah, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Turn to page 20 for L'chadodi. Welcome the Sabbath bride. During the last stanza, we'll all rise. L'chadodi. Turn to the bottom of page 25, read together in the English. Waking from his sleep, Jacob said, "Truly Adonai is in this place. I did not know it." Awestruck and said, "How awe-inspiring place. None other than the house of God. This." Top of page 20. Join us with the Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, Adivrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chai Ishme Rabba Mevora, Alam Umaya, Yitbarak, Vishtabach, Yitbar Vitraman Vinase, Vidhadar, Vidhale, Vidhalal, Shemeda Kudishapri, Leila Min Kol Berchata V'Shirata, Tushbechata V'Nechemata, Yamiran B'Yama, Timeruam. On page 28, we rise at Fable, a call to worship, Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Turn to page 30. Read together, middle of the page in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opening the gates, thoughtfully alters the time, changes the seasons, arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness, darkness from transforming day into night, distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, you may reign continually over us to eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv. 32, we join together. Ahavat
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chokim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochmenu, ufkumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, נגע יומם ולילה, ואהבתך ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
33, top of the page, together in the English. You taught Torah to those whose names I bear. Teach me Torah too. Mystery beckons. I struggle with its truth. Invent Torah for me. Mean the struggle for me too. Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand. Be wise. Listen. No. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Evam. before we rise for the Shema, the pinnacle of our service tonight, we remember that when we pray together, it's also the listening that we talked about in a couple of our. So when we're saying the Shema, I'd like everyone to really, that way we get a prayer experience, revel in the Word. So we'll ask you on page 34 to please rise, cherished words of the
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
We turn to the top of page 36. We chant together the V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha b'chol nafshecha b'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'eh asher anochi tzavacha Hayom Nanecha V'dibarta bam V'shivtecha Lechtecha V'derech Shochbecha Atam Leo Ayuletotafot Eineinech Uktav tam Al mizuzo beitecha Uvihi sharecha Leman tizkeru Nasitem et kol mitzvahai Em kedoshim Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem ani Adonai. Page 39, middle of the page, we'll read responsibly. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of it. Before we sing Michamocha on the top of page 40, remember as we're getting close to Passover, getting close to the pinnacle of the Exodus, when we leave Egypt, leave bondage, and we read these words, who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped, awesome in splendor, working wonders. Give it that little extra oomph as we approach Passover. Everybody just sing along with the end. Michamocha, page 40.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha neder b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Malchutecha ra'u v'necha, bokeh ayam li
Turn to page 42, middle of the page in the English. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace. Raise us up as our guardian, life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, for your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming, life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace spread over us, over all your people Israel, for Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapureis suchat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Israel. We also read at the top of page 43 together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts, eternity in our thoughts. We may lie down in peace, rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah, grace suchat shalom, leinu. Wherever Jews get together to pray, it is a Sukkot Shalom, shelter of peace. We continue on page 44, middle of the page, Yismechu.
Yismechu b'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshi shvi Shabbat, kulam yismeu ve'yitangu mituvecha Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. V'hashvi'i ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat. Chemdat yarim, oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Zecher למעשה בראשית שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת.
On page 46, Yamidah, our connection to the matriarchs and the patriarchs of our people. We ask you, if able, Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agiteh. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your. Start at page 40. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Avotenu, Avotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Ra, Elohei El Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Omer Chasadim Tovim, Yukonei Hakol, Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi'em L'Ma'o B'Ahava. Melech Oser u'Moshiach u'Magin. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham. It's Ratzah. Top of page 50. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Rav Yoshia. Mashir Ruach u'Morid HaGashem. Mechalchel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Beracham Rabim. Somek Noflim, Berofech Oholim, Umatir Asurim, Umechaye Emunato, Lishenei Afar. Nichamocha b'gibur, u'mitom ela, melech meimi, v'chayeh, u'matzmiach Yeshua, emat alecha. Baruch atah Adonai, v'chayeh. Page 52, top of the page. Kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, kadoshim b'chol yom. Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. Below on that same page, page 52. You are holy, your name is holy. Those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el. Turn to page 55, top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. May this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Kadesh. Page 57, second stanza on the page. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, this land, Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, Ra. Page 59, top of the page. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty. richness of the earth, day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha na'eh odot. Friends, we take a few moments of silent prayer. When you are done praying your own prayers, you may have a seat.
Yehi ratzon imrefi, Yehi ratzon imrefi, V'hagyon libi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri v'go'ali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Oh, say shalom Imromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen.
Turn to page 2. We ask God to heal those among us, all that we love, our friends who are in need of healing. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. As we go around our beautiful sanctuary and are welcome to as our Kohen. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored, strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. Let us sing together the words of Mishabera.
May the source
I speak of it, I do want to thank William for helping me with the mic. It's the first time in my life where I've been accused of not being loud enough. Okay, 12 of you laughed at that. We're doing okay. I had a little downtime the other day. I turned on the television. You know the deal, hundreds of channels on cable, streaming networks, YouTube, nothing worth watching. Or so it seems. I was flicking around the channels. I saw one of my favorite movies of all time was on, Forrest Gump. Now this is one of my go-to films, folks. One that I'll watch whenever it's on. It doesn't matter what's going on unless I'm at services. My 3 all-time favorites are The Godfather 1 and 2 and Forrest Gump. Yes, I like mob movies and Tom Hanks. Now, I won't give a full film synopsis here, but if by chance you haven't seen it, there will be spoilers. It's only 25 years old. So I'm watching the movie for a while, and a very powerful scene comes on. The scene where Jenny and Forrest, as adults, are strolling the back roads of rural Greenbow, Alabama. They come across an old house where Jenny's father raised her and her sisters, and from early scenes we get hints that there was some abuse by her father in that house. Seeing it brings back a flood of horrific memories. Jenny clenches her fists. She begins to pick up and throw rocks at the old house, breaking the windows. Symbolism is very powerful. That a parent is supposed to be loving and protective so that children are allowed to let their natural curiosity flourish and grow. Just as we see with Forrest and his loving, supportive mother, expertly played by Sally Field, growing up in a clean environment, Jenny, unfortunately, clearly carried the scars of her father's abuse throughout most of her life. And throughout the film, the results of Jenny being brought up in such a place showed itself as she ran from her hometown, rejected the roots, rejected the genuine love that she could have had, abused drugs, embarked on a series of abusive and physical relationships based more on involvement than true emotional connectivity. Now we know that the film has given us wonderful lexicon of sayings. Life is like a box of chocolates. I'll say it like Forrest. Life is like a box of chocolates. You can do it better than me. I'm from Boston. Okay. You never know what you're going to get, or stupid is as stupid does. But it's here that Forrest Gump utters what I believe to be his most profound and unintentionally sage quote. Jenny is throwing rock after rock at this house that embodied such miserable memories for her. She collapses in a heap on the ground. Forrest consoles her by simply saying, sometimes there just ain't enough rocks. Sometimes there just aren't enough rocks. That really struck me as profound, and I was able to make an instant connection to this week's Parsha, Metzora. Now, last week we talked about Sarat, skin disease, and this is kind of the double header of Torah portions. You talk about the skin disease, then Metzora, the people who have the skin disease. So you can either talk about skin disease for 2 weeks straight, or you can toss it up a little bit, is what we're going to do. But I was able to make a connection there. It's so interesting that many times you do and see in your daily travels can relate so powerfully to the Torah portion. And you may not be that into the Torah, but I'm telling you, you can go through something can happen to you that week, you read the Torah portion, and you can make a connection. Such is the nature of the Torah. In last week's Parsha, as I mentioned, Tazriah described the signs of Sarat, a malady which places a person in a state of ritual impurity. This week's portion begins by detailing how the Metzora, literally one being diseased, is purified by the Kohen, the priest, with a special procedure of washing his or her clothes, shaving off the hair, and bathing in water. Then the Metzora shall be clean enough to enter the camp. He must remain outside his tent for 7 days. On the 7th day, after he shaves all the hair on his body, scrubs his clothes, and washes his body, then he shall be clean. But we also read that a home can be afflicted with Sarat by the appearance of dark red or green patches on its walls. In a process lasting as long as 19 days, a Kohen determines if the house can be purified or whether it must be demolished. We read that God spoke to Moses and Aaron saying, when you enter the land of Canaan and I inflict a disease upon a house there, the owner shall come and tell the priest of the affliction. The priest must examine the house thoroughly and pronounce the home clean or unclean, almost like poltergeist. This house is clean. The unclean parts must be removed and replaced with clean materials, a total rehab. And they could get their homes rehabbed for free back then. Just had to have this malady. If the whole house is unclean, the house shall be torn down, and its materials shall be taken to an unclean place outside the city. The house is to be rebuilt with clean materials. The priest will inspect the house again. If the priest pronounces the house clean of sarat, then the priest is to perform a cleaning ritual for the house. And in another life, I used to flip houses or try to flip houses. And the priests, to me, are like the building inspectors. They can come and tell you, you're kosher, you're not kosher. So the priest is to perform a cleansing for the house. He shall make offerings, the people who own the house, before the Lord with 2 clean birds. One is to be slaughtered, the other is to set free in the open country. There are all these rules and regulations over unclean homes. The priest thus effects purification for the house is clean. As the Torah tells us this week, my friends, sometimes it's best to purify oneself emotionally, start over. We all know that. You have those days when you just say, I need a redo. A redo switch, but there's tomorrow. Nature does what nature does, what it has always done, moving from season to season. It's a lesson that not only appears in Parsha Metzora, but also with Noah and the flood, Sodom and Gomorrah, so on and so on. Whether it's a toxic situation that needs to be rectified or simply building a new, stronger foundation for the future. Sometimes things just need to be wiped clean and built again. Sometimes you can only scrub a non-fading stain so much. As Forrest Gump told his friend Jerry in that classic cinema scene, sometimes there just aren't. Shabbat shalom. So now we're going to be, actually, we have our announcement. Almost forgot. I did not forget. Come on. I've been waiting for this.
We don't have too many announcements tonight. There will be Torah study with Rabbi John tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the library. And also we'll be having our second night Seder Tuesday, the 23rd, and it will start at 6. Cheryl gave me so we're going to do it at 6 p.m. And I hope all of you will come. We're exhausted from not cooking, but we will be tired by the time we get it done. And love to have all of you come. Cheryl and I wish each of you a week filled with peace, laughter, and love.
We'll now ask everyone to rise if able as we open the Ark. We continue on page 259 with our prayer for the state of Israel.
Betzah tova milfanecha
ask our congregation, if able, rise again with us. A lot of up and down. For the Mourners Kaddish on page 294, we rise together to support those among us whose loss is recent or more remote, and to remember and bless the memories of those whom no one is left alive to do so. Tonight we mark the yahrzeits of Nellie P. Hearns, Joseph F. Pitensky, Richard Jacobs, Morris Klein, Emanuel Tuman, Agnes Ladner, Wilbur Shapiro, Gussie Waldman, Max Abraham Goldfein, John Dave Holland, Hattie Diamond Edelman, Joe Feldman, Carl E. Lovell, Joseph Rosenthal, Jane Eisen, Max Hirsch, Harold Kaplan, Sarah Spector, Anna Rose Schwartz, Charles H. Naiman, Melissa Ann Rogers, Catherine Rosenberg. We remember the Israelis, including members of the IDF, who have died since October 7th, 2023, as well as people of Gaza. And as we go around the sanctuary, if there's someone we're remembering tonight who we didn't mention, please say his or her name. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to all of us and to Israel. The cherished words of the Mourners Kaddish are on the top of page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'mechon v'ayed dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen, yehi shmei rabbam v'arach le'olam u'me'el maya, yitbarak v'yishtabak v'ar v'yitраman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, Shemei Kudusha Berechu, Leila Min Kol Berchata V'Shirata, Tushbechata V'Nechemata, Lamiran V'Yalma V'Imru Amen, Yehesh Lama Rabba Min Shemaya, Haim Aleinu V'Yalkol Yisrael, V'Imru Amen. Say Shalom B'Mamav, Uyaseh Shalom. Draw them into our hearts with our own. Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be forever. We'll just ask you to remain standing for one more minute as we sing our closing song. But before we do, I want to thank our wonderful Bema crew tonight, Cheryl and Sherry. I also want to thank Angela and Dwight for the beautiful music tonight. It's wonderful. I'm a fan as well, so sometimes I get caught listening. Remember, we have to go to the next prayer. So we're going to actually continue the last three lines that we just read in the Kaddish, Oseh Shalom, a song of peace.
Oseh Shalom, Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'yimeru Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'yimeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'yimeru Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We'll see you downstairs for